easy as pie. Oh, it's a shame. It's just a dream. Hello everybody, welcome to the Geeks Handbag, coming to you from somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I hope you're all keeping well. So yes, they've been rumoured for a while and there are some new Doctor Who sets coming out, all exclusive to B&M. So in this latest wave of figures, we've got the History of the Daleks set 13, the 5 Doctors set, featuring the first Doctor as portrayed by Richard Hurndall and a Gallifrey Death Zone Dalek. Then we've got History of the Daleks set 14, featuring 2 Necros Daleks from Revelation of the Daleks. And then finally, a new 6th Doctor and TARDIS set, featuring the 6th Doctor in an outfit inspired by what he wore in the stage play The Ultimate Adventure. So here I have the History of the Daleks sets 13 and 14. And this one is something a little bit different. So instead of 2 Daleks, we've got a First Doctor figure with the Dalek. And not just any old First Doctor, it's the Richard Hurndall Doctor, which we've never had before. So that's very exciting. The first thing that strikes me about these sets is the vibrant, bright new packaging. And I have to say, I do approve. I really do like it. So in the left-hand corner, we've got the lovely diamond logo, which looks great. TARDIS in the bottom corner there, which looks good. History of the Daleks set 13 limited edition, featuring the First Doctor and Gallifrey Death Zone Dalek from the 5 Doctors 1983. On top of the box, you've got the new Doctor Who logo. On the side, we've got the diamond logo with History of the Daleks set 13 and a little bit of TARDIS there. On the other side, the diamond logo again. And on the back, of course, we get a bit of blurb about the 5 Doctors and behind the scenes. So do pause now if you want to read it. And if you do pause to read it, the eagle-eyed amongst you might spot a mistake, because it does say the First Doctor, this time played by veteran actor William Hurndall. And of course that should say Richard Hurndall. So I wonder if they'll correct that, or if it'll just become one of those quirky little mistakes that we grow to love over the years. Alrighty, so that's the packaging done. Let's set them free. So the backdrop for the figures is this striking blue vortex, which looks really nice. It reminds me a little bit of the opening title sequence to the 4th Doctor era. Whereas in previous sets the figures have been held in with ties, this time they've been factory sealed. So I have to get the trusty blade out. Right, I've cut all the way around it, so we should be able to get them out now. And there they are, free at last. So, History of the Daleks set 13, the 5 Doctors from 1983. And so, let's start by taking a look at the First Doctor figure, this time based on the actor Richard Hurndall. Never did I think we'd get a figure of his Doctor, and I have to say the facial likeness is very good. The sculpt is good on the Doctor's mop of white hair with its distinctive curl around the ears. The Doctor's outfit has been captured very nicely. He's wearing his cravat, he's got his monocle on, and there's some lovely little buttons going down the waistcoat, as well as some buttons on his jacket. Not forgetting, of course, those trademark fingerless gloves that he wore. There's also some nice detail on the back of the figure with some creases on the Doctor's jacket, some buttons on his cuffs, and also 2 little buttons on the back of the jacket. Below the trousers we have a very shiny, smart pair of shoes, which have a tiny little buckle on them. The figure features all the articulation we've come to expect. He's got multiple joints in his arms, you can even turn his hand to full 360, he's got joints in his knees so you can bend his legs, all of this allowing you to pose the Doctor in various different action poses. And so, moving on to the Gallifrey Death Zone Dalek, the only Dalek, strangely enough, to feature in the 5 Doctors, which does make him a little bit unique. I, like a lot of Doctor Who fans I'm sure, have loads of Daleks in their collection, all of them with little differences that make them stand out and worth having, and I really like this one. I love the darker grey finish on him and the little red tip on the end of the gun like we saw in the episode, but of course the major difference on him is his dome lights, which are much thicker and chunkier than normal, this red colour with a strange grey dish at the base of them. And of course, Daleks can't be expected to rule the universe without articulation, so his head can do a full 360, you can move his eye stalk up and down, his gun and plunger can be moved, and of course he's got wheels on the bottom so he can easily move around to exterminate people. So I think these two figures complement each other really nicely in the History of the Daleks 5 Doctors set. It's lovely to have a figure of Richard Hurndall, and the likeness to him is very good, and the little differences on the Death Zone Dalek really make him something lovely to have in your collection. I really do like him. So overall, the History of the Daleks set 13, the 5 Doctors set, gets a big thumbs up from me. So moving on to the History of the Daleks set 14, and some very bright colours going on here. I must admit, I do like it. I know it's not for everybody, but it does remind me a little bit of the packaging we got during the Peter Capaldi era, which was a bit divisive. But yeah, I'm all for bright colours. So once again, Diamond logo in the corner, TARDIS at the bottom, says the 6th Doctor, History of the Daleks set 14, which is a limited edition featuring 2 Necros Daleks from Revelation of the Daleks 1985. Once again, we get the new Doctor Who logo on the top of the box, the diamond logo on the side, History of the Daleks set 14. At the bottom of this one, though, it does say the 6th Doctor, next to that little bit of TARDIS. Diamond logo on that side. And, of course, the blurb about Revelation and behind the scenes on the back of the box. So do pause if you want to read it. So that's the packaging. Let's set them free. So once out of their box, once again, we get this nice blue vortex as the backdrop, and actually these Daleks look really nice against that. It really makes them stand out. Now for the bit I don't like doing, which is cutting them out, and actually it's a shame because it does kind of ruin the packaging if you want to rebox them, which I often do. Anyway, let's get them out. Yeah, you can see what I mean about the packaging. There we go, and finally they are free. So here we have 2 Necros Daleks. I absolutely love this design, the white and the gold. One of my favourite Dalek designs. Anyway, let's play Spot the Difference. And as it turns out, we could be here a while because I've studied both of them very carefully. And as far as I can tell, they're exactly the same. Now, I'm not really complaining because, as I said, I love this style of Dalek and I think these two look absolutely beautiful. And they are a little bit different compared to the Daleks we've had in previous sets. They do have something that makes them a little bit unique. And I am of course referring to that extra gold ring around the bottom of the Dalek's neck, something that's always fascinated me about the Daleks from Revelation. I don't know why it's there or how they got it, but it's nice to see that they've adapted the figure to include it, because as far as I know, it's unique to the Daleks from that story. Other nice little oddities on these Daleks are the striped black and white bumpers, which look nice, and we are back to the more traditional clear lamps on top of the Dalek's head. I really love this colour scheme on the Daleks, and although we saw something similar in Remembrance of the Daleks, I think the extra neck piece, the black eye lamp, plus a few other differences is enough to distinguish them as Necros Daleks. These Daleks also feature the same articulation on the headpiece, the eye stalk, plunger and gun, and of course they have wheels on the bottom so they can whiz around the universe. And even though the 2 Daleks are exactly the same in this set, it's great for army building and they do look fantastic together. So the History of the Daleks set 14 also gets a big thumbs up from me. Both the History of the Daleks sets and the TARDIS set are due to hit B&M stores around September time. The recommended retail price for the Dalek sets is £24.99 and the TARDIS set is set to retail for £34.99, but prices may vary or change. Also recently released by Character Options was the 14th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on one. Released as a limited edition exclusive to the Character Options website, it sold out super quick, although apparently another batch is on the way. The recommended retail price for the Sonic is £29.99. It features an opening and extending emitter, as well as lights and sound effects. But if you don't want to wait for that second batch of Sonics, a standard version has just been released with a cheaper retail price of around £18.99. The main difference between the two being the emitter on the end of the Sonic. On the limited edition version, it was a shiny silver colour to represent steel. On the standard edition, it will be a matte finish. Also, the standard edition won't feature the hidden sound effects the limited edition one had. The more I look at this Sonic, the more I love the design. It appears to be made up from previous incarnations of the Doctor Sonic, specifically the 10th, 11th and 12th Doctors, which is a really lovely idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Doctor use this in the upcoming 60th specials. It's very exciting to be getting some 14th Doctor merch already, and I love the fact that the merchandise seems to be back in sync with the show itself. So another exciting wave of figures from character, and who knows what we can expect leading up to the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. I'm excited to find out. Time will tell. It always does. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do check out the Geeks Handbag on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget, I also do a Doctor Who podcast with my good friend Gary called the Big Blue Box Podcast. So do give that a listen. But until the next time, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.